very happy that such a devotee is here with us today. And we have three loud Haribols to welcome Prabhu. Haribol! Haribol!
Haribol,
Haribol! Thank you
Haribol,
very much.
Haribol.
I just want to say something. Um, I had the good fortune of meeting Nitendra Prabhu, not in person, but we were communicating with each other for a while uh, on Zoom and on calls. But one thing I do know is that his spiritual master is Holiness Rupa Maharaj, uh, of whom I've had the good fortune of serving and having his wonderful association. He has spoken very, very highly of Nitendra Prabhu. And he considers him to be one of his torchbearers, if I may use the exact words that Maharaj used. He's inspired many devotees. And today we are very happy that devotees like him are coming to give us association. The topic that he will take is relevant and it will go through a few days. So my humble suggestion is, the long weekend is coming, as in Chinese New Year, and take advantage of the fact that we have many programs like that. Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Subramai ki. Please take advantage of the fact that we have the opportunity to hear Prabhu, and we should take full advantage of it. So, Nityananda Prabhu, we're very happy that you have come through, and we hope that this will be one of many more visits that you come through. Thank you for taking the time to travel halfway around the world to see us. Thank you very much. I think for Vaishnava tradition, we always welcome our guests with three very loud Haribols. So I will suggest we do that. Haribol!
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Now, devotees keep being as forward as you can because because of the rain, there's a little bit of delay, but in the next 5-10 minutes, we will fill up. So as many of you can move forward, we will be less disruptive so that Prabhu can concentrate. My suggestion also is if children are here and if they get restless, you can always bring them down. For the rest of you, keep your handphones to silent. And I'm sure at the end of the time, if you have questions, you'll always have the opportunity to speak to Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So we will begin with Mangala Charana. Then I'll seek your blessings to start the topic. And you're welcome to recite along with me. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Manojabam Marutatuల్య Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Pujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Cha Janakatmaja Purato Marutir Yasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. I'm extremely grateful to all of you, specifically Devakinandan Prabhu and Tina Vatsala Prabhu for so easily agreeing or inviting me. Although we haven't met each other ever, this is my first time to Singapore. And I will try to be on the best of my behavior so that I can book my ticket for next time. Jokes aside, Devakinandan Prabhu was speaking about me, that how my spiritual master speaks about me, which I'm very grateful to hear something like that. But I hear about him from Maharaj as well, because over years, I would say that he is a very instrumental person in being like in the Christian world, they believe in angels that come to sort of protect, maybe it's a strong word. I don't want to embarrass him by saying protect, but he was definitely there as a well-wisher through some really rough times in our life. So I cannot tell you how grateful, and we've interacted for many years, but have never met each other. So today is my first time to be in his august presence, and all of you Vaishnavas, thank you for coming. You've taken the risk of driving in the rain because you heard some topics. At least I thought you might be interested in them, and I hope to do justice to the wonderful, wonderful work of Sri Valmiki Rishi. In a normal setting, in other places, I usually ask the devotees to do a little yoga exercise with me. So if you're willing, we can start with a nice yoga exercise. This yoga exercise is the secret for peace. And usually we do some exercise where we are peaceful ourselves. But what I'm about to share with you is a formula for peace, not just for us, but people around us as well. You will see. It'll make it everything so peaceful. So sit up straight and take 3 deep breaths in and then exhale slowly. So first breath, exhale slowly. Second one, exhale. Third breath. One. With the index finger of your right hand pointing to the ceiling. Very good. In your left hand, hold your phone. You will see. Okay. And somehow bring the tip of your index finger to the off button of your phone. And you will find so much peace. And people around you will also find great peace. My journey with the Ramayana, every few weeks and months, I discovered new connections with the Ramayana. Although it was not something I was looking for, it was not something, unlike a few devotees that from their childhood had an attraction to. I started from no attraction to Krishna, Prabhupada, no attraction to the devotees, not just no attraction. Actually, I was to run away from the devotees. As soon as I would see them, I would turn around and go away. But when the grace of a wonderful Vaishnava Guru falls on somebody like me, even such a person has some hope in life. And so over the years, just studying Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, etc., certain events in my life pointed towards the Ramayana. As we go through the next couple of days, maybe I'll fill in more details, but I'll leave you with a little bit of enigma at this point. And so I just started as a casual reader, delving into the Valmiki Ramayana. And I don't know Sanskritam, I don't know. Whatever words here and there I know is from reading Prabhupada's books. And just reading got me hooked on. And This is my 11th year, and I feel like I have not even scratched the surface of it, but it is exquisite. There were certain things that I wanted to find out. Is it there in the Valmiki Ramayana? That's what actually started me to go about this journey. And it has been nothing short of joy, fulfillment, satisfaction, happiness, sadness, and that's what's coming up too. So if you don't want, if you want to cry, if you don't want to cry, uh, then don't study Ramayana. If you're okay crying a little bit, then Ramayana is the book for you. And I'll explain why as well. But that's over the years, that's been the journey, and somehow by the grace of our acharyas, I'm getting some opportunities to share here and there. I also definitely don't go out and advertise, but somehow opportunities have been coming my way, and I feel extremely grateful for these opportunities. It is said that the audience, tomorrow we will hear how the audience actually inspires the speaker. If the audience were not interested, then the speaker has nothing to share. I'm not speaking about me, I'm speaking as a general principle. So many years ago, a wonderful Vaishnav that we used to have great appreciation for told me a story about ardent hearing. So I'm just warming the audience. So there was a Bhagavat Katha happening, and there were hundreds of people sitting in the crowd. And the speaker had begun Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and as just had started, then he saw that from afar, a little older lady pushed through the crowd and came and sat in the front row. So the speaker was very inspired that somebody has such eagerness that they are coming all the way to the front row. So he spoke with even more enthusiasm. And as he was speaking with more enthusiasm, the older lady sitting in the front row used to cry. Then the speaker said, "Oh my God, the words Krishna is inspiring me is moving the heart of the audience, especially this older lady." So he spoke with more enthusiasm. So the program for the first day was over. Second day it started again. And this lady came again, pushing through the crowd and sat in the front row. This speaker was like, "Wow, such taste for hearing katha. I've never seen some." And so he gave his best, better than the previous day on the second day. So third day, fourth day, every day she would come, and seventh day also she was sitting there. So after the katha was over, everyone said, Bhagavatam ki jai. He got off the stage, went to her and said, "Mata, in all these years of my speaking the Bhagavatam, I have never seen such enthusiasm. What is it about Bhagavatam that you have such taste and attraction?" So the older lady said, "I don't know what you mean by Bhagavatam." So he was shocked. He said, "For 7 days you're coming through the crowd, sitting there crying." She said, "Oh, so about a week ago, my goat got lost. And I've been searching for my goat. Then I saw this crowd. I thought maybe the poor fellow is somewhere in the crowd. So I came looking for him. And when I came and saw you, I saw your beard flowing in the air. That reminded me of the beard of my goat. So every day I would think about him and cry. I don't really know so much about what you're talking about." That the sense of attachment is such that the mind goes to something else, and it's very easy nowadays. So anyway, but it's the audience that inspires the speaker. Now for me to share from here. Do I have share? Yes. Okay, there you go. So this is the topic for today, was the birth of the Ramayana. One second. There you go. The birth of the Ramayana from curse to blessing. We all know, is there anybody who does not know the storyline of the Ramayana? We know who wrote the Ramayana. Okay, you doubtful or you're confident? Valmiki Rishi. I'm not going to speak about the story of Valmiki Rishi. Generally, it's called Utpodghatam. You refer to the story of Valmiki. So, for now, we will start with Valmiki Rishi and Vyasadeva. Both have the same guru. Only the timings are different. Vyasadeva heard from Narada Muni, as we always say in within the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, we always say 5,000 years ago, roughly. I mean, it doesn't matter how many years ago, we just say 5,000, that's our number. And Valmiki heard from Narada Muni about 12 million years ago. Sri Ramachandra appeared in the Vaivasvata Manus. This is the 28th Yuga cycle. He appeared in the 24th Yuga cycle. So Rupa Goswami tells us from Laghu Bhagavatamrita. That's the 24th Yuga cycle. So long time ago. Just as Vyasadeva had certain dissatisfaction in the heart, Valmiki Rishi had something in his heart that is kind of, I can't say sadness, but something that was perplexing him. So when Narada Muni came, whenever, this is a wonderful principle of our bhakti tradition, that when a devotee is under some perplexity, somehow or the other, the Lord in the heart sends somebody specifically who plays the role of either a guru or guru's representative. After all, the Jagat Guru is sitting in the heart. So somebody will come and try to answer or solve that perplexity. The Ramayana begins with tapaswadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidam varam Valmikir Naradam Prapracha Valmikir Munipungavam. Narada Paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam. That's how it starts. That Narada is here, the great Narada Muni is here, and Valmiki Rishi, and there are adjectives for each of them. I'm moving through it, I'm not explaining each other's. Asked some questions. So Narada Muni, the question he asks is there a person not in history, but right now, in this world, Sampratam Loke, in this world, is there a person who has all these 16 qualities? And this is a whole list of qualities. Gunavan, Satyavan, Atmavan, there's a whole list. He asks it 4 verses, 16 qualities. Narada Muni smiles and says, yes, Ikshwaku Kule Sanjata, Ramo Nama Janeshwara. Oh, everybody knows him as Rama. He has appeared in the Ikshwaku Kula. Ikshwaku Kula Prabhava. And if we discuss the word Prabhava, we'll be here till tomorrow morning. Apparently, there are many meanings to it, but Prabhava. And then it is with such ardent desire that Valmiki has asked these questions, because his heart is in some sort of, I can't call it distress, but he wants to know, eagerness. That Narada Muni, instead of giving him 16 qualities, answers and gives him 32 qualities. So the principle is, depending upon the desire, the interest, and the desperation that we want to know, it invokes in the heart of the Guru a certain joy that makes them give abundantly. If the disciple doesn't have that interest, right? Athato Brahma, Jignasa. If the Jignasa is not strong, then it doesn't inspire from the heart the Supreme Lord to empower the Guru to speak. So Valmiki is such a wonderful student. Narada Muni is an excellent teacher, and he gave him not only the 32 qualities, but qualities by themselves have no value. For example, if we say love is such an amazing quality, it has absolutely no meaning because it's a very abstract idea. Everybody has a different idea and translation of what love might mean. But when you say love and you show the example of a person who carries love, then you can understand. Oh, another word is compassion, mercy, forgiveness. These are very abstract ideas. But when we see them in a person, then we can say, oh, that's how it looks. So for helping Valmiki Rishi, and Valmiki knows who Ramachandra is. It's not because Ramachandra visited his ashram. But I still haven't told you why Valmiki is. So he narrates the entire story of Sri Ramachandra in about 95 verses, the first chapter of Ramayana. So let's find out what was Valmiki Rishi's quandary, if you will. At the end, tomorrow we will see the structure of the Ramayana. But for now, there is Uttarakanda. We know the names of the Kandas, roughly. Let's try, because these are uplifting names. The first Kanda is called Balakanda. The second, Ayodhya Kanda. The third one, Aranya Kanda. The fourth one, Kishkindha Kanda. Fifth one, Sundara Kanda. Sixth one, Yuddha Kanda. In Manas, it is Lanka Kanda, Yuddha Kanda. And then the seventh one, Uttara Kanda. Uttara means north or additional. But there's another meaning for the word Uttara. Wherever there is a prashna, question, there has to be an answer. Uttara. So Uttara Kanda is the epilogue that has answers to questions. So Sita Devi was pregnant, and one fine day she walked into Valmiki Rishi's ashram. I've met many people who have this one thing, maybe two things, that is a block in their appreciating Sri Ramachandra. How can you say they loved each other very much? How is it possible that such a loving husband, because of one washerman who said something, sent his pregnant, they don't say sent, exiled, banished, which neither are correct words. The right word is sent his pregnant wife away into the forest. So none of it is necessarily accurate. The accurate thing is when he heard this, if we have time, one day among these, I will go through about 6 or 7 points on why that was. If we have time, we'll see. But for now, just play along with me. Ramachandra asked Lakshmana to take her very near Valmiki's ashram and leave her there. When Valmiki Rishi, who is such an enlightened soul, saw Sita Devi, felt like many of us feel, how is that possible? Then one of the commentators who wrote Uttara Ramacharitam, a commentary on Uttarakanda, I think his name is Bhavabhuti, answers this question. That Valmiki himself felt, how can Ramachandra send? Everybody says he is the heir from the Ikshvaku Tila. I know that he is God because all the sages have some idea. And yet, he can send his wife like that. So he was in this disturbed state. That's the disturbance. And when he sat down, Narad Muni appeared in front of him. And that's when Valmiki asked, is there a person with such qualities? He knows he's talking about Ramachandra, but he has this doubt. If a person has all these qualities, why is the behavior like? Something is not matching for me. And maybe not so explicitly, but this is what Uttara Ramacharitra starts with or addresses. So Narada Muni has to come and says, no, it is Sri Ramachandra. So when Narada Muni has come to speak to Valmiki, by this time, obviously, Ramachandra has come back to Ayodhya, he's crowned. Of course, Sita Devi is pregnant, that means he's already the king. She has come then. So Narada Muni, after he speaks, he gets up and he leaves. And by this time, Valmiki Rishi is in a state of joy, contentment, happiness, because he has got such an extended time with his Guru. The time for the afternoon bath and puja has arrived. So rather than going to the Ganga, he goes to the Tamasa river, which is not far from his ashram. Along with him is his disciple Bharadwaja Muni, because a disciple's service in the previous times, but even in the modern way, we translate it a little differently. But the disciple is supposed to go along with the Guru to wash the cloth of the Guru. The Bharadwaj has to be there carrying a water pot and going. So as they are going, they have arrived at the Tamasa river. Okay. They arrived at the Tamasa river. The river is very, very beautiful, crystal clear. You can see through the river bed. In the rainy season, the rivers are all murky. They become dirty. They have brown color in them because as the rivers are coming down from the hills, they bring a lot of silt with them. And the silt makes the rivers brown, murky. As soon as the first autumnal rains begin, the dust settles to the bottom. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam that when you hear the name of Krishna, what happens? Second canto. Pravishta Karnarandhrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham. In the lotus of the heart, that is in the pond of the heart, Bhava Saroruham, Dhunoti Shamalam. All the dirt in the heart, Dhunoti, is cleaned, it settles to the bottom. Shalilasya Yatha Sharat. As in autumn, the rivers suddenly become clear when the rain falls on them. Something about autumnal rain, that the rivers become clear. So Valmiki Rishi with Bharadwaja Muni is looking at the river and says, it is so clear, like the heart of a pure sadhu. Then they look around. Instead of taking a bath, he is noticing all the expression of nature around him, because he has just met his Guru. So everything around looks wonderful to him. You had that experience when you met a wonderful Vaishnava, you've had some interactions with them or sat in class. The same old boring thing also looks nice and it's not so bad. And you see the joy that they spoke to you with express also is. And Valmiki is telling Bharadwaja, look at the beautiful trees, the green leaves on it, the birds that are chirping everywhere, the flowers, the fragrant flowers of different colors and sizes, the bees humming over those flowers, the animals, everything is so beautiful, Bharadwaja. And they're enjoying and taking in the scene. And as Valmiki Rishi is narrating is, suddenly as he's speaking, his eyes find a hunter who's hiding behind a tree with an arrow mounted on the bow, the string pulled up to an end. And as he's speaking, he sees, and before he realizes, the hunter has shot an arrow. And that arrow hits a crown shepherd. Let's see if this goes further. What? There were two crown shepherds. I'll show you a picture of the modern crown shepherd. I'll show you now and then I'll go back. That's what they're called. They're muzzle cranes. Okay. One thing about them is that, like penguins, they only have one mate for life. They don't find another mate. Once they find a mate, that's it. They're for life, they're like that. So the divorce rate in their society is very low. So when that arrow shot the male bird, immediately the male bird is all bleeding and fallen to the ground, dying. The female is crying. I don't know how they sound, otherwise I would have made that sound for you, but it was crying loudly, piteously. So suddenly, in this very scenic, pleasing, satisfying scenario, a very cruel, harsh act of killing two birds that are so busily mating with each other that Valmiki Rishi, who has chanted the name of Rama for such a long time, Skanda Purana reference tells for 6 yugas, some say 16 yugas, whatever, we've chanted for how much ever we know. But this is a person who's chanted the name of Ram, completely heart is free, just spoken to his guru, Narada Muni. And suddenly in him came such a fit of anger, actually sadness, but that sadness expressed itself as anger. Here's a sidebar. Totally from Valmiki, we're going to go to psychology a little bit. Whenever you find a person who's angry, you'll only find others angry because we ourselves never get angry. It's only others who get angry. So if you find someone angry, many people see the anger, but in psychology we are taught, at least in that anger actually is an expression of sadness. Some sort of sadness that makes a person angry. Then there is something even beyond that, that the sadness comes from a person not experiencing love or affection at that moment. And that's what comes out as sadness, which is then expressed as anger. So Valmiki Rishi, in a fit of anger, without necessarily thinking too much, we say involuntarily, cursed the hunter. This is how he cursed. Now one may say, how can a fully sense-controlled sage speak like this? This is a very famous verse. And they say that this is the verse that is the verse that gave birth to the Ramayana. So we will try reciting it together. So please repeat after me. My goal today is that before you leave this room, we will all remember this verse. Okay, somehow I will try. Manishada Pratishthantvam Agama Shashwati Samah Yet Krauncha Mithunadekam Avadhi Kama Mohitam. So, from the audience, can you tell me one or two words that you recognize in this verse? Krauncha. Someone else? Raise your hand, it's easier that way. Avadhi. What is Avadhi? Avadhi, age or duration? Okay. Avadhi, okay, another word you recognize? Nishada. Nishada is hunter. Kama. Anybody who doesn't know what Kama is? Kama Mohitam. Kama Mohitam? Lost. in love or lust. I mean, because we use the word lust, kama mohitam, lost in love. No one recognized ma? Don't. Never. Ma. Maya. That which is not. Ma. Don't do something. Huh? Tvam is you. Very good. Shashwati. Ekam. What is ekam? One. Mithuna. Mithuna. Yad maithuna di grihame di sukham hetu pacham. Maithuna. Mating or a couple. Very good. Shashwati, eternally. See, all of you. You already know the meaning, but just in order. Manishada, but you have to say it with emotion. Manishada, oh hunter, may you never find any semblance of steadiness in your life. Pratishtham ma tvam. Nothing in your life will be stable. If you buy a house, that house will fall. If you find a new job, that job will go away. Of course, the hunter has whatever job he has. I'm just saying in general. Pratishtham tvam ma. Nothing in your life will be steady or stable. Oh, for today, for tomorrow, 1 month, 2 months. Agama Shashwati. For eternity, you will not have anything stable in your life. What is the crime? What is the crime the hunter did?
He killed one bird out of
He killed one out of the birds. What is the job of the hunter? Killing. So it's like telling a software engineer, you will never be stable in your life because you coded software.
Yes.
That curse it raises a question. Why would you tell a hunter that? Well, that is his profession. But there is a dharma sukshma, there is a dharma that even for hunting, there are some laws. The law is when two animals or birds are mating or eating, that's when you cannot shoot them. This is what the curse for Pandu also. That he shot when two deer were mating. And then, anyway, it turned out to be a sage and his wife, but that's a whole different story. But there are some rules. So you cannot hunt when your target is in certain states, condition. Because especially in this state of mating, they become oblivious to their surroundings. So they cannot defend themselves, they cannot protect themselves. So a hunter had crossed the line of dharma. So the cursing is, but this curse is very big. Pratishtham tvam agama shashwati sama, no stability in your life. You will never. And the reason is yat krauncha mithunat ekam. Of the couple, one avadhi you've killed. While they were kama mohita. So we will read the translation. Someone has a booming voice in this congregation? Like nice, powerful voice. Nobody. I don't know you, otherwise I was going to make some joke, but you will be upset if I make the joke. I was going to say everybody is married, but anyway. Sorry. Somebody, please. Yeah.
All ages come. Asava Shashwati Sama, let all inauspiciousness befall you. Ma Pratishta.
Pratistham means Pratishtha means to be stable. If you're not stable, it's inauspicious. Then Bharadwaj is standing right there. Valmiki has this sudden state of, how can I speak something like this? It's involuntary. Anyone has an involuntary burst of anger in your experience? Yeah. But this sage, the most sense controlled, the one who has seen Narada and heard from him, chanted Rama's name, then So our acharyas explained that in such a great person's life, when something involuntary like this happens, you should understand that there is a divine reason. Parikshit Maharaj, great king, because he was supposedly hungry and thirsty, put a dead snake around the sage's neck. The same Parikshit Maharaj for 7 days did not eat or drink or not slept. That means he has the ability to control his senses, but something very uncharacteristic behavior. Okay. A wrong application of this would be anybody does anything and we say, who knows, it must be divine. The previous resume has to describe what their character is, and then a mistake you can say was divinely inspired. But this was perhaps divinely inspired. So Valmiki, that whole afternoon, while he's taking the bath, he and Bharadwaj Muni, they are constantly repeating this curse. Something about it. Manishada Pratishtanto Magama Shashwati Sama. Yet Krauncha Mithuna Dekam Avadhi Kama Mohit. Something about it was unique. Something they could not point their finger to and say, yeah, but something was. So they went back to the ashram. Bharadwaj Muni narrated this episode and the shloka to all of the residents of the ashram. All the little disciples, they also were repeating this verse. So we'll also repeat this verse. Ma nishada pratishthantvam agama shashwati samaha yat krauncha mithunad ekam avadi kama mohita. So then when the disciples in the ashram started repeating it, they heard that there was some musicality to it. They could sing it. Bharadwaj Muni also says, hey, if I put tal to it, it sounds that it will fit the tal also. And to sing also, it sounds very good. Then Valmiki Rishi sits down in tapasya. And suddenly, in his ashram, appears Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma doesn't appear to anybody. He appears to Valmiki Rishi. Immediately, obviously, Valmiki stands up, washes the feet of Lord Brahma, does Padyam, Arghyam, Achamaniyam, something to eat, drink, offers him a wonderful seat and sits. And doesn't sit, still standing. Because when you're serving a Bhagavata of that stature, you cannot sit, you're standing. They are sitting. Lord Brahma smiles and tells Valmiki Rishi, come sit here. It has never happened because you're always to stand. Bandhu moi savadhana mate, right? We sing when we are worshipping Prabhupada Guru Puja, Bandhu moi savadhana. You have to be alert. He invites Valmiki, please sit here. This is the first sage who has the invitation to sit face to face with Lord Brahma. When Lord Brahma smiles and says, I can see that you are disturbed. Don't be disturbed. I inspired this in you. It was the potency of Saraswati that made you utter these words. Because there is something I want you to do with this. Use this. And now that you've heard from Narada Muni, I want you to compile the entire Ramayana. And here's what will happen for you, Valmiki. Imagine what blessings he gets. Huh? Here's what will happen to you. On your palm, we all have palm screens on our palm, right? This is the first screen, handheld screen. You will be able to see the entire Ramayana. Who did what? Who said what? Not only will you be able to see and hear everybody's speech, I bless you that you will be feeling their emotions. You will feel those emotions. Someone's happy, you will feel happy. They're sad, you will feel sad. Not only you will feel the emotions, you will be able to read the inner movements of everybody's hearts. You will know what's happening inside their hearts. So, write it. And Lord Brahma said, in my Brahmaloka, there's already a Ramayana. You take that and write something for the people of this world. So, without the Vaishnavas, without teachers and acharyas, how are we to find out what this verse must have some meaning? No, that Lord Brahma also came. So, our wonderful teachers, they say that from Shoka came Shloka. That is why the underlying emotion throughout Ramayana is Shoka, or we call it in English pathos, or Karuna Rasa, Karunya, Karuna Rasa, compassion. The compassion includes. So you'll see from starting to end, it's a story where there is a lot of sadness. But for Vaishnavas, those sadnesses were all moments of, on a curve, they're called points of inflection. Those moments are moments of great ecstasy. As Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our highest experience of joy and ecstasy is in separation. We glorify, we worship the gopis, we worship Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, the boys of Vrindavan, the gopis of Vrindavan, the animals, the birds, because they were constantly in separation from Krishna. Logic would say if they crossed the Yamuna, they could have gone to Mathura to see Krishna. But they didn't go. Why? Because he said he will come back. So they're waiting. Love cannot be explained through logic. So this is where so much of separation is there in different relationships. That tomorrow we'll see all the rasas that are there in Ramayana. But for now, so this Shoka brought about a Shloka. Bharadwaja Muni said, oh, it fits. Oh, Lord Brahma said it fits this meter called Anushtup. Anushtup is the entire Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam also. There are 4 padas. Pada is quarter. 4 quarters. Each quarter has 8 syllables. And there are some rules that the 5th should be this way in each pada, the 7th must be that way. And it perfectly fits that. So this is in Anushtup Chanda. Oh, Valmiki, this Chanda is my own Chanda. Lord Brahma said. So use this Chanda and compose the entire Ramayana. So this shloka now has a different meaning. Okay, someone with a voice, please read.
Oh Lord, oh, oh Lord Vishnu,
Hmm.
Lord Rama, who is the resting place, Nishad of the goddess Lakshmi, Sita, Ma. May you, Dvam, get Agama, Ved, Pratishtham, that will last for ages. Shashvati Samaha, for killing Avati, one, Ekam, among the couple, Mituna of demons, yet Krauncha, namely Ravana and Mandodari, who was overtaken by lust. Kama Mohitam.
What a lovely verse. The whole Ramayana is here. Ma Nishada, O Lord Vishnu, in whom is always resting Ma. If you recite the names of Lakshmi, then one of her names is Ma. Mother Ma. Ma Nishada, one who's in whom Lakshmi is always residing. In South India, there is a very famous temple where he is called Shri Nivasa. Srinivasa. Shri Nivasa. She is always residing in his chest or heart. She's always there. Srinivasa. So Ma Nishada. O Lord Srinivasa, O Lord Vishnu, right? Ramachandra, who is the resting place of Sita Devi. Tvam Agama Shashwati. May you have Tvam Pratishtham. May you be situated, your Pratishtha for Agama Shashwati, for eternity be spread throughout the universe. Because you have done a very glorious act. That there is one fellow, Kama Mohitam Ekam. Who's that fellow? Ravana. Avadhi. You've killed him. Krauncha Mithunat. Krauncha, but how does Krauncha translate into Ravana and Mandodari? Krauncha in Sanskrita has two meanings. I'm sure there are more. Two. One means lean and thin. That doesn't apply to Ravana. He's not lean and thin. In fact, he's mean machine. He's very mean. Another means one who walks crookedly. The Krauncha birds walk crookedly. So Ravana is not like literally walking crooked. It means his behavior is very crooked. Krauncha Mithunat Ekam. Avadhi Kama Mohitam. That's the Ramayana. Are we done? Should we go? No, we want to see more. But how is the Ramayana has 7 cantos, right? So this verse even points to every kanda also. Ready? Okay. Summary of all the cantos in Ramayana. The Balakanda, Manishada. Because in the Balakanda, it is where Bachelor Rama becomes Sri Rama. Because he meets Sita Devi and gets married to her. And the reason he gets married to her, we will, I think it's there in our list of topics maybe. Until or unless she is not with him, the Hladini potency is not there, he cannot fulfill the purpose of his advent. So the entire Ramayana, the hero is Sita Devi. So Ma Nishada, this is where they get married. Ayodhya Kanda, Pratishtham Tvam Agamaha. People remember Ramachandra as Pitur Vachana Palana. Whatever his father said, he fulfilled that order. In I'm not familiar fully with Ramcharitmanas, but this famous statement, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. Once you give your word, you're okay to embrace death, but you will never cross what you have spoken. So, in fact, the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas say that Dasharatha never even told him to go to the forest. Do you know that? Kaikeyi said. But he went because it was Dasharatha did not say anything. He didn't say yes, he didn't say no. He was just lying down on the ground crying. But Kaikeyi said. And he said, if that is the desire of my father, I will fulfill it. He said, why should my father stay? If you tell me to go to the forest, Kaikeyi, I will go right now. I don't need my father to say it. Anyway, I get very distracted because this is it's a book, it's a scripture that easily, you enter one door and you may never come out of it. Okay. Aranyakanda, Shashwati Sama. Because for eternity, when Ramachandra entered the forest along with Sita Devi, the millions and millions and millions of rishis were waiting to get a glimpse of Sri Ramachandra was fulfilled for them. Kama Mohitam also. Because it is in Aranyakanda where Ekam saw a golden deer and suddenly they got separated. So Avadhi, in this context, is not so much killing, but separated. Avadhi, Kama Mohitam at that point. Why? Anyway, if I raise the question, I cannot answer it. But the question is, why would Sita be attracted to the deer anyway? We'll come to it, I think, on the holiday time when we say the best kept secret in Ramayana. That's one of the topics. We will deal with this topic at that time. So I'm, you know what I'm doing, right? I'm putting a cliffhanger, hoping that you'll come back. Is it working? We'll find out. Okay, Kishkindha Kanda. Krauncha Mithunat Ekam Avadhi. In Kishkinda Kanda, who was the Krauncha, the crooked fellow that got killed? Vali. What is Vali's wife's name? Tara. Not Tara, Tara. Because in the Vanara Sena, there is another Vanara by the name Tara, but that is masculine, Tara. Tara gave all sorts of advice. Don't go. Sugriva is calling you, don't go. Because I have heard that he has made friendship with Rama. Our spies have come back and told us. And Rama's strength must be very, very strong because only on that strength, even after getting beaten up by you, he has come back again. Don't go. Who listens to his wife? He didn't say like that, but I'm dramatizing. Kishkindakanda, Krauncha Mithuna. Because Vali's behavior was very crooked. He had a pact with Ravana. Should I tell you a little bit? Oops. Vali defeated Ravana. You know that story? Okay, very good. Thank you. Then they made a friendship. The friendship that they made was from today onwards, Jo kuch mera, whatever is mine is yours. Whatever is yours is mine. That includes cars, houses, kingdom, and wives. That is the pact they made. What kind of friends are they? Very nasty, krauncha, like crooked fellows, Vali and Rav. I mean, how can someone makes in the name of friendship say wives also? But Avadi, Sundarakanda. In this case, Kraucha Mithunad Eka Kama Mohitam. Who's the Kama Mohita fellow here? Rav. Rav. Ravana had never seen Sita. In some references, they say he had come to Mithila to lift the bow. But it's not necessary that he has to see her. First, he has to lift the bow. Then only sing. It is not like today. So at that time. So supposedly some say he was there, some say he was not there, doesn't matter. But he had never seen. But her beauty was described by Shurpanakha. And he became maddened. See the differences, contrasts. Rukmini had never seen Krishna. She only heard. And she became maddened in love with Krishna. Ravana became maddened in love with Sita. But it is not Anukulya, it is very Pratikulyas. The famous is, they say in Ramayana, these three siblings, Ravana, Vibhishana, and Shurpanakha, teaches a very important lesson. Shurpanakha wanted Ramachandra, and the obstacle was Sita. So she wanted Rama without Sita. There are many persons who say we don't have to worship, the Shakti Tattva along with just Rama. It's enough for me. And for such a person, ears and nose got cut off. Ravana wanted Sita, not Ram. So Ravana believed in Lakshmi Puja on Diwali, but not Ram Puja. I'm just joking. I only want Sita, I don't want Ram. I want Lakshmi, not Narayan. Vibhishana is the only brother who wanted to make sure that both of them are together. We will come to Vibhishana Sharanagati. Oh, I didn't plan it. It's all coming out really nicely. When we talk of Vibhishana Sharanagati, we will see what Vibhishana did But he wanted them to be together. That is the real bhakti. Then is Yuddha Kanda. Yuddha Kanda is where the fighting happens at Ekam Avadhi. The actual killing of Ravana, Indrajit, Kumbhakarna. And recently we were reading in our weekly Ramayana that there's a whole list given by Vibhishana. All the Rakshasas who were killed, the Rakshasa generals who were killed. And he says the only one remaining is this Indrajit. If we finish him off, Ravana is as good as dead. Uttarakanda is the separation between Sita and Rama, the second time. This is also Kama Mohit. The Kama Mohitam here has different layers of meaning. One is that Ramachandra acted as the king more than the husband, as people say. But the reason Sita went to the forest is because she had a desire. If you read Valmiki Ramayana, it's the way it flows that Sita Devi and Bhavabhuti in the Uttar Ramacharita gives a little bit more detail that this is what happened. Valmiki only tells you actually what she expressed, but Bhavabhuti tells you the scene under which or in which she expressed this. So in Uttara Ramacharita, Ramachandra has commissioned painters to come and paint the 14 years of their forest residence. Because between Sita and Ramachandra, they felt that living in the forest was the best time because there were no attendants, nobody coming and saying, time to eat, time to go to the court, time to do this, too many people, no privacy. But the forest was just their most wonderful time, although very austere. But they had so much fun. They were doing swimming races, they were playing sports, splashing water on each other under the moonlight, under the full moon, dancing, as they call rasa. They were dancing with each other. Fantastic time. So when she's pregnant, she asks Ramachandra, as they are walking and looking at all the pictures of the hermitage of the sages, the birds, the animals, the forest, wow, they are remembering all of that. And she says, how wonderful it will be that our children can also experience something like this. And that's where the chapter ends. And the next chapter is where Bhadra, the messenger, brings the news. So lesson is, I'm not threatening, but the lesson is be careful. We all should be careful what we desire. Because what we desire, we may have an idea of how to desire, but the Lord may hear it in a different way. So I'm going to digress and tell you a story of Lord Shiva, just to, I guess, not make it too serious. And I'm apologizing upfront if you were offended by it, but I'm a married person, so I can make jokes on marriage. Although I'm not like this story that I'm going to tell you, I'm just saying, I don't know you, so I'm being careful. There was a elderly couple who've been married for many, many, many years, 40, 50 years, whatever. They married for many years and they lived a very simple, what we say, middle class lifestyle, nothing too extravagant, just very simple lifestyle. Both are very nice devotees of Lord Shiva. And because of their prayers and puja and being steadfast, one day Lord Shiva appears to both of them and says, whatever desire you have, please tell me, I would love to fulfill it. So the wife is eager. So she says, Lord Shiva, whenever we have traveled anywhere, we've only gone by, you know, 3-tier sleeper. It is my desire that this time I come to Kashi, Varanasi by second AC sleeper. Can you fulfill that, please? Oh, she was sure. Why not? So husband was, let's say 65, the wife was 55. That's the age. So Lord Shiva asked the husband, "What is your desire?" So the husband told Lord Shiva, "Thoda side mein aao, some private I want to tell." Okay. "Yeah, what is it?" He said, "I've been married for so many years. It's the same wife. One time I want to know what it would be like to travel to Kashi with a woman who's 30 years younger than me. That would be really nice." Lord Shiva said, "No problem." And in a snap, made him from 65 to 85. His desire got fulfilled. Be careful what we say, how we say. Because there is always something lurking in our desires out there. So anyway, Kama, Mohita. There is something why this Karuna Rasa is important. Those are diamonds. Okay. I've never bought diamonds, but I've seen a lot of diamonds being smuggled in movies. But whenever you see diamonds, have you ever seen diamonds on a white velvet cloth? No. Why is it that they're not on a white velvet? It's usually either navy blue or black. Why is it not on white? You can't see the beauty of the diamond. Yeah. Colors cannot be seen. To see the facets of the diamond, the sparkle, the shine, the cut, you need a very dark background. Similarly, when everything is going wonderful in one person's life, the shine of their character doesn't come unless you have a dark background, adversity. Only when there is an adversity, then the person's real character you can see. Otherwise, everybody is excellent behavior. Only when difficulty, that's when in English there's a saying, men are separated from the boys, meaning real character is demonstrated in adversity. And throughout the Ramayana, there is no shortage of adversity on the Supreme Lord himself. But his character and all of his associates, their character shine forth so beautifully. If we hear about Lakshmana, we'll hear about Sita. Let's say we glorify Ramachandra. Yes, that is so detached. He was told, go to the forest. Some poets say, when Rama was walking into Dasharatha's palace, he had a smile on his face. When he heard, you have to go to the forest right now, he walked out and he still had a smile on his face. In fact, a bigger smile on his face. Because he was happy to be of some seva for his father. So we can understand that he was given the order. But there were two people who went with him who didn't have to go. They went voluntarily and took all the austerity voluntarily. And they are what amazing character they have and how they serve Ram. That's so love blossoms in such adversity. A person's bhakti can blossom and shine in the backdrop of adversity. We don't have to ask for adversity. We may not be able to pray like Kunti Devi. Vipada, Sastu, Sa, Sashwat, Shashwat. Eternally let me get Vipada. I can tell you honestly, I can never recite that prayer with feelings. I'm scared. Without asking, only Krishna's sending enough. If I say Vipada Sastu Shashwat, I don't think I can manage. So I cannot recite that prayer. It's a hard one for. I'm being honest. But she says, let them come again and again. Because for her, it's not the difficulty. She gets to see Krishna because her character is shining that seeing Krishna is so much more valuable for me. Being in his presence is that difficulties don't. So that dark backdrop is very necessary to see great character. So the Ramayana provides such a backdrop. I'm at 6:43. And that's my last slide. This is my first, so I'm warming up. We may not have too much time for some reflections, not necessarily questions. If you want to reflect something you heard for the first time, or you already heard, but it resonated differently for you or better, or whatever, you want to reflect something, feel free. You want to ask a question, please. You want to make a correction or improvement in what I said, I happily accept. We may have some minutes. Yes, ma'am. So since I'm new here, I don't know many of you. If you don't mind, please tell me your name and then ask or comment on it. I didn't hear your name. Hare Krishna.
Tara. You might mention that Tara wants to be
Vali,
Was Tara the Vali's wife?
Ruma. Sugriv, Tara is Vali's wife. Ruma is Sugriva's wife. So when Sugriva was kicked out, Vali took Ruma as his wife. When Vali was killed, Ruma and Tara became Sugriva's wives.
Tara.
Tara also. Vali was killed because he took Ruma as his wife, but Sugriva took Tara also as his wife. I can't answer everything. It's cliffhanger. You know how next episode it's a cliffhanger. If I answer everything, then you won't come tomorrow. Anyone else? Any reflection, thoughts, comments? No? Yes,
My name is Rishikesh.
Rishikesh.
So my name is Rishikesh, and I guess since we were just talking about Vali and Sugriva, right? I just had like so I was just thinking a bit about what you were saying about the fight, right? So Sugriva was completely reliant upon the strength of Rama, while Vali is relying on his own strength,
That's
right?
correct.
And like even though Sugriva is the weaker one amongst the two, like there is none stronger than the Lord.
That is correct.
Like I was just thinking about that.
When one relies on one's own strength, that is called pride or arrogance. When one goes to Sri Rama or Jagannath, Krishna, Balaram, and say, I have no strength, then that is bhakti. That is a real strength. That's humility. Okay, 6:45. If I extend beyond my time, although he's Dina Sharana Prabhu, he will never Dina Vatsala Prabhu. Dina Vatsala Prabhu, I may have to become Dina, but I will not extend my time. But thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Valmiki Rishi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Nice, no?